How's it going, everyone? I'm back with another stream today. We are kind of continuing on the adaptations we made from the last stream. Um, we have a containment priest for all the creativity lists that are kind of getting popular right now. So that's what the containment priest is for. It's just a quick answer to creativity on the stack because if they target multiple things, we could answer with explosives, but we only have two. So just having another targeted piece of hate against the deck seems pretty decent. It is a normal against Lurrus, but like we just hold this as kind of like a literal counter spell for creativity. So I think this is fine. And then just we had tested Dromoka's command last stream, and it was cute. Just kind of just playing around with cyber cards. But I think having a second Daemon than 75 is pretty important. And then lastly, again, we're just having Hushbringer over Top Wars because expecting a lot of Yawgmoth and the dying triggers is pretty relevant here. I do want to go over some new cards that are spoiled because I know a lot of people are going to ask. So let me put the Mythic spoil real quick. A lot of people are kind of going crazy over Boseiju, which was spoiled, I think, yesterday, the day before yesterday. Let's see if I can just find it real quick. But it's green mana, channel discard a card, um, and then there's the white mana removal spell, March of the something. Yeah, so we can talk about these two cards real quick before I delve into the league. I think this card is um, not overrated. I think the card is definitely going to see a lot of play. But I think it's not going to be something where people are going to just jam for us because it is a legendary land. I do see the synergies with like Ren and Six and Ragavan and being able to like destroy Saga or something, being able to fight through Blood Moon from like a Tron's perspective or Amulet's perspective. But I think in like Abzan's perspective, I don't know how good this card is. With certain builds right now, it's a straight black white with a very light splash screen for Tarmogoyf. So having just a plain green land that you can't fetch for. It dies to its own Blood Moon. Like it gets shut off by Blood Moon, right? Like if it's in play. So I see merit behind it. We have Assassin's Trophy for this kind of effect. If we really wanted to run this type of effect. I can see like maybe hedging with some like Witherbloom commands to have this in the sideboard. Like I can see kind of play that way. I think this card fits way better in Jund than it does in Abzan. I don't know if it can fit in with Abzan just strictly because it's green. Like if this was like a black land and had the exact same text, I can see maybe squeezing in, but just in terms of just color requirements, like this is kind of loose. Maybe it could be a 25th land. I can see an argument for that, and it's just like a disenchant effect, but then I don't know if you really want that in Absent specifically. I do think it's good in Jund. I think you can squeeze it in Jund. I think the problem with Jund is I think it's you do have green as a splash color as well. But with Ren and Six, it's just way easier to argue for Boseiju, right? So why not Cage? You can Saga for Cage. That's true. I think the fact that I can flash this in and it can actually attack is what's more appealing, Andrea. I messed up. Hi, Ice Bear Streams. Hope you're doing well. You finished lunch. Me too. Me too. Um, Congratulations on your 70th trophy, Sandy. That's awesome. But like, it's the same reason why I have like Outland Liberator instead of like a Sealer Primordium, because it can attack. So it's why Hushbringer is arguably better than Torpor because it can attack. Granted, you can tutor for it with Saga, so that is a good point, Andrea. Maybe that's something I'll think about. I feel like, yeah, maybe Grabdigger's Cage is also worth a consideration. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll think about that. I think that's something worth thinking about, Andrea. Thanks for pointing that out. Hushbringer also seems pretty good. It is. It is definitely. I mean, it dies to Bolt and Prismari Command, but Torpor also just dies to Prismari Command. But Sage is going to break Modern. It's definitely not going to break Modern. People said the exact same thing about Assassin's Trophy. So, we want Lizard Blaze. How's it going, Dr. Jiggy The great part is that it's hard and kind of and doesn't get by tax effect. Exactly. I mean, it's good card. Like, don't get me wrong. I think there's just a lot of hyperbole about this card. And I think it's somewhere in the middle. Why? Sorry, Andrea, I missed over it. But again, I think Grafdigger's Cage is a very good suggestion if we're going to win Containment Priest. I definitely think it's going to be something I'm going to be thinking about. And then I want to talk about March as well. I think this is a card that shouldn't replace Prismatic Ending because you want as many 1 minute answers to because of Ragavan, Amulet, Expedition Map, Darcy. Like you need sufficient 1 minute answers. We have 3 Prismatic Ending, 3 Fatal Push for exactly Ragavan and Darcy, so I think that's okay. We do have the extra portable hole, but I do think 6 is the minimum here. So I think you shouldn't replace your prismatic ending effects with March, assuming the fact that you have probably 6, maybe 7 with the portable hole. So this is actually more of like an abrupt decay effect. So I can see this maybe over the portable hole since we already have 6 prismatic ending, fatal push, and speed 1 mana interactive spells. So I'll probably test it over the portable hole slot just to see how it is as a one of. But I do think this kind of maxes out as a one of, maybe 2, because it is kind of clunky. Because the answer like a 2 mana, like a Tarmogoyf, it costs 3 mana, which is a lot. There are upsides where this could cost less, right? So like we could pitch like an Esper Sentinel, and it could cost 2 mana, like exile a Yawgmoth or something. I think that's where this kind of ceiling does play. Or if you compare it to something like an Abrupt Decay, obviously you can't kill Omnath, you can't kill Fury, Solitude, Yawgmoth. Like you can't kill these 4 mana plus like creatures, and it reaches for like Murktide and Wurmcoil Engine, but I think against like Tron, right, where like Esper Sentinels are kind of a slow clock, I can see like pitching an Esper Sentinel and then like exiling a Wurmcoil Engine, right, for like 5 mana. Like this has some play to it. I just don't think you can jam like 4 of these. I think this is like a solid maybe like 1 of inclusion into the removal suite. It definitely doesn't replace Prismatic Ending. I think it supplements it. It's going to be interesting to see like how bad this card is in terms of how clunky it is, and not being able to exile Ren and 6 or Teferi does suck. So I don't want to like ignore the downsides of this card because there are some holes to it, and there are some downsides to like Abrupt Decay, right? Because if you wanted to answer like a Tarmogoyf for Abrupt Decay costs 2, while this costs 3. But on the flip side, you can kill a Saga with this. You can answer Chalice for 1 mana. And you kind of break even with Abrupt Decay if you're answering 1 mana threats. And if you compare to like Prismatic Ending, the instant speed's so huge. So being able to like spend 2 mana, exile a Cigarzade, a Hammer, spend 1 mana, just like exile a Construct, like this has some play to it. So there's spots where it's gonna be clunkier, and there's spots where it's gonna be more efficient. But like being a 1 mana exile target Saga, and like they play their Saga, and with the Saga chapter trigger on the stack, you can exile the Saga, and the Saga won't be able to produce mana freedom on that turn. So like that's kind of like the ceiling on the card. The middle floor, it can hit like again the Yawgmoth, Omnath, Fury, Solitude, where an Abrupt Decay might be dead. And then the floor is obviously it's just clunky, right? So against like a Yawgmoth, if you wanted to hard cast it, you have to spend 5 mana. But like in a mid-range deck, like the games are gonna go long, and you'd rather have a card that you spend 5 mana and kill a Yawgmoth than to just die to it, right? And then there's also like obviously like if it's like a Grist or something, you can't kill a Grist with a March, which is unfortunate. So there's pros and cons. I can see why you wouldn't want to run this card. I still think it's worth trying one, but I think those are the 2 notable spoilers. First page, yeah, I think you're in the first page. Do you want me to like? Do you want me to stream the rest of the league? Like this, Danny? Here. There. Let me have you right here again. Here you go. What about well said, Abyss? Don't give me a procedure replay, but it's not going to be just fine. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think the people think it's like really, really absurd, and I think it's good. I just don't think it's like breaking modern or going to be something really stupid. It's probably some sort of middle ground, honestly. It'll be like a very good card. It's going to see a lot of play. Whereas the floor is so high in the card, it's just an untapped green source. So like the first copy is free if green is one of your primary colors, and that's where I'm arguing like in Abzan it's tough because green is not our primary color. So I think it's somewhere in between, on average, and it's on reality it's like a B plus A minus card, with the high ceiling, so it could be an A plus when you're like constantly recurring with random decks and just destroying aids and sagas and such, like against the hammer matchup. So like the ceiling is really high, but I think on average I think it's going to be somewhere like in the middle. But I think people are just like overhyping the card. I don't think it's gonna be that good where you're slamming four. I don't think it's a four of, in my opinion. If it doesn't end up being good, it will be just because it's high end. But I agree, it'll be just be a role player going, but just exactly Def Jet. That's how I feel about it too. It's a role player. It's it's there's decks where you just easily slot it in, like Titan and Tron, where you just slot in a copy, or two. But I don't think it's like this format defining warping card. It probably makes hammer matchup a little bit better for a lot of decks, and that's fine, right? But I don't. Maybe if from a hammer's perspective, you're like, oh my god, this card is like gonna destroy it, and it's like, I mean, you're gonna lose some percentage points, but I don't think it's gonna break modern. You'll need up the amount of other white cards, or we're playing to hard cast them most of the time. I guess that's something like my friend pointed out too. We have like Sentinels, other prismatic end, which is kind of awkward, and Kai's out, so that is a good point. And I don't think we want to be pitching Lurrus to it either. But you're right. I think we're probably gonna be hard casting it, and I think it's just like the backup mode if we really need to. It's kind of a contingency plan, right? KEMTG. So it's kind of like an in between. It's like one of those things where like that's kind of a cherry on top, and I think you have to take every package of the card as a whole. And as specifically, why wouldn't you run Assassin's Trophy instead? I think that's the thing. It's like, wouldn't you just rather have Trophy? I think it's one of those things where like if you wanted like a 25th land, I think that's where like that floor is good, right? So I think you can definitely build around to make it a 4, but you really need to have a build that kind of effect. That's the thing. Like, do you really want to build around like a naturalized effect though? I don't think it's like that. Like, I don't think it's that good where you want to like really build around. I think that's why it's like the floor is high enough to where you can just slot it in. I don't think this like like if you're really recurring it and that's really what you do. I feel like modern's just so low to the ground that like that can't be your primary game plan, right? Um, Maybe I shouldn't have talked about the spoiler because now I'm just like not playing. We're just talking about it. I am planning to make a video though. Here, Sandy. This is just for you right here. I am planning to make a video, but once the whole full spoilers is out, like what I did for Modern Horizons 2. So I'm planning to make another video, going over all the spoilers. But I kind of want to talk because I know those two cards are pretty hot, and a big hot topic on Twitter. But Sage destroys hammers and stuff and rants back into listing and stuff. Exactly, Spider. Exactly. Like I think the drawback isn't talked about enough, and I understand that like the upside is there. It gets around counter spells. It's there. But people are ignoring the fact that you're just ramping your opponent, and it's not like your opponent's gonna run out of basics because they can also get shocks too. So, did you see my Nihilist? I don't think I did bench. I don't think I did. I was referring to a white exile effect with a comment on AT. I'm gonna have to scroll back up. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that there is a compelling argument to running Assassin's Trophy over the land because it could hit creatures, right? But like the floor is so high. So is this spikes? Spikes. Like Boros Stoneblade this. I keep running into this deck. I kind of want to block here because that way we can trade like Thoughtseize plus we can double spell Thoughtseize plus Prismatic Ending if they go like 1-drop or something. That's also okay. Okay. So now we're gonna Thoughtseize. It's just so awkward because I kind of want to get basic plains to have a chance at Blood Moon, but I kind of want to go basic swamp so we can go dam. We already have the second white for the other dam, so I think we go swamp, and then hope they don't draw Blood Moon or have a second Blood Moon in hand and just Thought Seize them. Yeah. I'll check it after the stream, Mitch. But your lists are... I'm always a big fan of your lists because they're always obviously very spicy. And you always like push the envelope on different slots that you run. Varals is a very recent example. Oh my god. Fuck. So if they draw land, they go sword. Okay. If we take the Sentinel, I'm gonna hope they don't draw land. And then we can just Prismatic and in the Fervent Champion, or damn it. Yeah, I think we have to go Sentinel, hope they didn't draw a third land. That's pretty bad. Fuck. I mean, they could do this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Fuck me. Never met the Boros deck. I run into this every league. I feel like, and I feel like it's a really bad matchup for us because he's like Fervent Champion plus Sword is just really, really annoying. Boomer Jund. I run into that too. Okay. So I guess we just have the Prismatic ending. Fuck, and then they just like... So this is so bad because like... We're like in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation here because like... They can just equip the sword to the other Sentinel and then just attack. We could just Prismatic ending both creatures. So I think that Prismatic ending was actually a good draw. We could either Prismatic ending both or Dam plus Prismatic ending and then let them draw a card. Because the reason why that line is bad is because of the fact that like they have... I would like to use the Prismatic ending to answer the sword because any Fervent Champion over the top is just so bad for us. But I think we have to double ending here. And there's a spots where like I was talking about March earlier, and like March would not be very good in that spot, right? Because like with Sentinels taxing and stuff, like you really need your 1 minute answers to be 1 minute answers. So they're gonna draw a card off our removal spell, or I could just slam Goyf. I don't hate just slamming Goyf here. And then we just kind of stonewall them. How's it going, Spider, by the way? I respond to your message. Congrats on your top 8, too. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I think I tuned into your first match where you lost, I think. No, sorry. That was your it was for the showcase. You got second. I don't think I congratulated for you for that yet. Okay. We're gonna make them draw a card with this Kaisgal, but I like making them sack make a 1/1 because that insulates against a Fervent Champion or a Ragavan Dashed. They do draw a card off it, which sucks, but let's attack first. I doubt they're going to block. There's not an instant in the yard, but we won't, so we want to do this now. Sack, make a 1/1. Yeah, you draw a card. We don't want to cast Shadow Spear Ho from Azcanta because they get to draw a card off the Sentinel, which is why I didn't do that. No, you get to draw a card. So they have double sword, but no creature to attach it to. Potentially. You're right. I also wanted to get the damage in, right? So. Okay. Land. That's a really good draw. Yeah, I think I want the extra point in, though, Sandy, for sure. There's an argument for like not attacking with a spirit, just hold back. But I think that push is just like insulates us so much. No reason, no reason. Yeah, I like when you posted on Twitter, I was like, fuck, did you let it miss that stream? Because that would have been really fun to watch. But I mean, it's worth not streaming it if you get top 2. That's an invite, right? To the like bigger online tournament. I don't play it too much because like they fucking change the formats every time, and it's like so hard to keep up. I'm assuming that cues you into the next the actual like. It's not the mocks yet, right? I think there's like one before it, and I might be way off, but. Yep. Thank God for that fatal push draw, huh? Thank God for that fatal push with the exile, prismatic ending. So they could have Solitude plus white card here, which would be very bad. Which I think that's what they have here. Cool. So if they literally passed turn and made me attack, I would attack with Goyf and left Spirit back. Because the way we lose this game is they go like for like Solitude, so they have no cards. They top deck Fervent Champion, double equip and attack me. So I think I'd rather play it safe, get Lurrus in hand, and then like kind of take over the game that way. Needle seems good. Explosive seems good. Liberator seems good. Second Dam. A lot of these cards seem good here. We have a lot of good cards. I think Sentinels are worth boarding out, actually. They're just like more creature centric. Like it does tax their swords and stuff, but I think it's just a little too loose. You can borrow the spell bomb. Linger Souls is actually really, really good just because it can stonewall both Sword and Fire Nice and Sword and Feast of Famine. Yeah, okay, so I'm partially right about that. Spec. How's it good, Jen and I? I'm sorry for pronouncing your username wrong, but appreciate you tuning in and hanging out. Kind of want to just board out the Voidwalkers. Like, in this list, there's no real equipment that we can really take outside, like, Thoughtseize. And we can't, like, block with it either. I don't hate just boarding out the Voidwalkers. Maybe you can board out the Kaiasgyle. Because, like, they just have fodder, like, Sentinel fodder they can just sack with the Kaiasgyle. Like, making the 1/1 is kind of important. I think we want all 6 discard spells just because we can take equipment with it. Maybe we only want 1 Hushbringer. I mean, stopping Solitude and Fury is kind of clutch. Maybe just trim a Bob on the draw. I don't hate that. Five or unfollow, you know. That's a lot of pressure for me when I'm only able to 4-1 with this deck. It's a lot of pressure. Sounds decent. We are soft to Blood Moon though, because we have to go whole, and then okay, never mind. Okay. So we'll lead on Blooming Marsh, and then next turn we can actually just get basic Swamp with this Marsh Slash if we really wanted to. No, I think we go Blooming Marsh first, and then like if we draw a fetch. No, I should play Marsh Flats here because I can go basic Swamp, Inquisition, and then if I draw another fetch, I can. If I draw like a Verdant Catacombs, I can go Tarmogoyf. I won't be able to get white mana, but I don't think we're gonna be portable holding the Sentinel anyway. So I think I like getting basic Swamp just to play on Blood Moon. Like it opens us. Sorry, it opens up the opportunity to play on Blood Moon more. Oh fuck! I forgot about Sentinel. Fuck me. I'm like so like paranoid about playing around Blood Moon. I mean, I hit it, but that really sucks. That I fucking let them draw a card. That was a really. I just forgot about Sentinel. I'm so stupid. I'm like so focused on Blood Mooning. Or not getting Blood Moon, sorry. But this is fine. I made a Jund player mate today. What does that mean? Actually, if Jund players are the worst people, not wrong. It could be. Ooh. Okay, so we could Thoughtseize, but they probably have the Solitude already. Like, we could Thoughtseize and take the Ranger Captain, but, like, they're also off mana. I think it's just better to portable hold a Soulstone for the stick here. And just hope they don't draw Blood Moon. I mean, we could, like, portable hold the Cauldra and then, like, take the Ranger, but, like, I'd rather just keep our life total high. Okay. 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 So their hand is double Solitude, Cauldra, Unknown. So they could Solitude my Goyf and then, like, get a Ragavan and dash it in. Oh, they get Fervent Champion. Interesting. I think we're gonna upkeep all of them. Slamagoyf. And just block. And then next turn we can Thoughtseize plus backup Goyf. So they aren't solituring yet. So drawing a land. That's actually kind of bad because if they have natural draw on the sword, they can go sword for Champion Solitude, Tarmogoyf attack. That'd be really bad. Oh, that's exactly what they had. That is exactly what they had. I think I have to pitch the Gaulish Shrine, hope to draw an untapped land so that we can pay for the Sentinel attacks, Thoughtseize, and play Tarmogoyf. Or we could hope to draw enough to, an answerless sword, but that's really gruff. So I know all the cards on their hand. They can't cast anything. So we can just keep taking 3. So, okay, we have 2 options here. We could Solitude, force them to waste the other Solitude, take Cauldra. They could also just let us Thoughtseize them. We take their Solitude. Or we could go double Goyf. I kind of like going double Goyf here. So that way they can't crack back. And then if they Solitude, then they Solitude. We still have a Goyf left back to block the other creatures. Because we're going to take a hit off the sword, so I think we just have to discard the Thoughtseizes. But can we fight through another Solitude? So we could either Thoughtseize. Oh, man. We could Thoughtseize and then discard a Goyf, and then they just have an answer to it. Can we beat double Solitude? So I don't think we can beat double Solitude, so I think we have the Thoughtseize. Otherwise, we're just going to discard it. We lose our the Goyf, but then we can kind of play for the long game and Lurrus it back later. So we go to 10. Oh, this is such a tough fucking line. The other option is we just hope they just never draw a 5th land for the Solitude. I think that's the line we have to take. We just gotta hope that they don't draw a 5th land for Solitude. I think the other line is just playing to not lose. I think we just need to go triple Tarmogoyf and then just hope that's enough. I think this is a line. Because we also have lethal, potentially. If they don't draw land here, they're kind of forced to, like, pitch the other Solitude, which makes us Thoughtseize a lot. Like, it then it's, like, nullifies the Thoughtseizes, right? Oh, this line's so tough. Why is my deck so fucking hard? That's going well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is this another sword? Is this a Ragavan? Okay, that's a line. That's also a line, sure. Get lucky? Yeah. It doesn't have Rhinos in it. Alright, what do you hit? Oh, then they can just Solitude. That Ragavan was a very good draw. That really sucks. That really, really sucks. Can't attack. We're not drawing any removal. We gotta just put Lurrus in hand, discard the Verted Catacombs to the sword trigger, and pass. Not looking good for the home team. Not looking good for the home team. Will is a nice young man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, the Hushbringers look pretty good because they have Ranger Captain as well. So I'm glad I boarded those two in. So we'll see if we can get luckier next game. We're technically not dead. We could draw a Dam, and we are like right back in this game. Like I kind of want them to like Solitude main phase. Yeah, the sword's really good. The sword is really good. They slam Blood Moon here, I'm just gonna cry. Okay, you got me. If I draw a Dam here, I'm gonna laugh. Sure. Oh. I feel like the deck is just like a bad matchup for us. The Blood Moon is just such a free win for them. Such a free win for them. Do we want Brutality? Like, it's just a Sorcery Spirit rule spell. I think it's better just not everything else. I think this is fine. Nuba Seiju in this list? Not really. We don't have green mana. We do not have the green mana. Oh, this is so fucking awkward. Do we want green or white? I think we'll go Overgrown Tomb. Go Tarmogoyf and really hope we draw a white source. We have more white sources than I think green sources. So we're likely to draw it. So I think we have to go Overgrown Tomb and cross our fingers. You also just need to draw Third Land Period because of Urza Saga. So, like, we want to be able to activate the constructs, right? So, oh, their hand is pretty bad, though. We'll take the Blood Moon because that's the easiest option. As long as I don't draw a 1-drop here. Sweet. We are like, and we draw a third land. Either one of the next 2 draw steps, we draw a Bauble. So we have 2 draws for a third land. If we don't draw the third land, that's going to be very bad for us. So they probably answer the Goyf with Prismatic on their turn 2. If that's our turn 2 play, that's probably fine for us. And wait for them to fetch, and then we can bobble them. Their hand is really bad. But our situation's actually not great either. It's like totally contingent on us playing a or drawing a third land here. So contingent on it. So contingent on it. Please. Please, deck. I beg of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we could still lose the Blood Moon, but I'm gonna get basic planes here, I think. Just so we can go planes, and then if we naturally draw a fetch, we're okay. I actually might get Springleaf Drum with the Saga. Oh, I thought that was a Blood Moon. I thought that was a Blood Moon. I was like, fuck, no way. My heart sank a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. I was like, no way, fuck you. How's it going, Electro Bob? What do you want, buddy? So we're in a decent spot now. We don't auto lose a Blood Moon anymore. We'll make a construct. Or I'm gonna get Springleaf Drum here. I feel like that's the only way we lose this game. Is to a I could also just get Sword to name Sword and Finance, but I don't think we're at that point yet. We have so many answers right now. So I think we just want Drum to be like super safe, I think. Yeah, I think we want Drum because we want to get Saga here, and then if they go Blood Moon, we can still Prismatic Ending it next turn. So this is just like the safer play. Well, we're like so ahead right now, so. Sure. Sure. How aggressive do we want to be? Oh, Bloodmoon's absolutely awful for us. Even worse with Saga, for sure. I think we go Tarmogoyf. And then we can make a construct and then attack with both. So we make this play. And then we attack with both. And then we have a construct left to block. I like hold a sentinel, don't play, make a construct, swing 10. That's also a line too. But I don't like them drawing a card. I feel like that just... I don't want to leave them with that out. Okay, that's not bad. I don't think they can attack. Apparently they think otherwise. I don't know why they conceded. But sure. If they didn't concede, the obvious play is to damn. I think I do. I think I just damn the Fury, Prismatic, Portable Hold the Soul, or the Sentinel. They draw a card. Hopefully they don't have white card plus Solitude. But even then, they're still dead because they died to the other constructs. Like, they need, like, double solitude. Cool. Cool. Exactly, Sonny. Like, it kind of forces them, like, the most powerful thing about the sword is that they hit us with it, and, like, just throwing more bodies on the board and, like, giving us a lethal crackback is, like, I feel like way better. But I mean, like, I just don't want them drawing cards because, like, strictly because of solitude, right? I don't want them to draw solitude and then, like, have another white card drawn. That's, like, worst case scenario. It is. That's the line, Dr. Jigo. I think it's just like thinking through and playing around cards and sequencing. Where like, how do you lose that spot because we're way ahead? And I think letting them draw a card is not the line I want to take because of solitude. So I think like pointing out the obvious of like, yeah, they're dead on board. It's like sure, but what are we playing around? How are they? What could they have that would make them not be dead on board? And how do we put ourselves in a situation where that doesn't happen? And like going down the line of like letting them draw a card and answering the sentinel, I think is that line. Right, and like another line is like they could draw fervent champion and then essentially one mana hit us and then they can draw into solitude, right? Like those are the kind of like plays where I think it's really critical to kind of really take a step back and think about it versus just like jamming and like just assuming they're dead on board because of these free spells now. These free spells really kind of change the dynamic of everything. That's also true. You can also just attack. That's also fair. And then you can reassess there. That's also true. Okay. I think we're gonna bubble trick ourselves. I actually don't hate the land. Right? We reveal basic forests off the top. I actually don't hate the land just because our other lands are sagas. I know that sounds weird, but I kind of like it. It's just a little safer. I can see an argument for like trying to dig for like a push or something, but like if we're really gonna answer something, we're gonna want a purple land too. They revealed Lurrus. Our opponent says hi to chat. Hi to chat. They say they're a big fan. It's cool. I'm just a shitty mid-range player, just enjoying playing Magic. Okay. This is best possible for us because we're just so Thoughtseize proof. And then we just let Saga take over the game. Unless they're on... I mean, they could also be on Dress Down, which would really be bad for us because we're kind of all in on these sagas, but don't tell our opponent that. Thoughts on Boros Storm? I like it on paper. I think it's a cool deck just because it's a Ragavan deck that can also play Blood Moon. I think that's kind of the coolest part about it. We're just gonna make constructs, I think. So they're on Jund. Yeah, we're just gonna make a construct. Hit discard spell me? Chandler. Good sequencing by our opponent. Good sequencing. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Ben Tarmogoyf. Okay. That's an interesting draw because I kind of like going Spell Bomb. And then they have to suicide their Darcy into us. And then we can go Conceal Courtyard. And then we can just start sagaing next turn. So that big of a deal. Actually, I actually kind of like playing Courtyard also because that means we get an untapped source anyway. There's an argument for like doing it now. Nice, Steph Chat. Let's go. So they could Unholy Heat in response. So I think we'll do this now. If they Unholy Heat, that sucks, but we can still block, so. That sucks. Not that good of a draw. Oh, I should have double blocked. I should have just threw everything at it. That was just not a good play by me. That's annoying. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. I did not play into that well at all. So mad at myself. I am so lucky. We're still in a tough spot though. They should just not have a Darcy in play, which is annoying. God, it's such a stupid play on my part. Dash, sure. I'm assuming they're gonna heat the Bob. I don't know why they dashed. Interesting that they... Okay. Opponent didn't really think that through. They're letting me untap with Bob. I think we send with everything. Offer the trade here. And then we can Kai'Sgao the Goyf. And then potentially play Bob. Wow. They're really hoping to get Delirium here. Wow, they hit it. So we can Kaya's Guile play Bob. So they have Ragavan in hand. So like we could exile the graveyard, keep our construct alive, but like I don't think that's good either. But they could also just like chump the construct. Go to 9. I think I said 2. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. I think making the body is just safer. Exactly. Okay. Cool. I'm glad my wrong block on Darcy didn't cost me the game. So we didn't see Urza's Saga, but we can kind of assume that they're on it, right? I think we can bring an EE. Fifth Needle is an interesting choice for like run in 6. Potential Urza's Saga as well. I think I like the Dam. Excuse me. Probably just trim Thoughtseizes. Keep the Inquisitions. Exactly. Like I'd rather have the 1/1 to block Monkey than to make them sack the Darcy. Trying to figure if I wanted the second Voidwalker or not. I think that's the weakest card. I could also just cut a Bob on the draw because it just dies the run in 6. Maybe that's a play. I honestly think they're from their point of view, they should have just heated the Bob when they had the chance. I don't know why they were saving it. Like that's kind of honestly the card that kind of really turned the corner for us. As we cut it post board. But I think that's the one. I mean, them also just playing dashing the Ragavan and not attacking with it's kind of weird. But I don't think that's really cost them the game because it didn't really impact the board. Like they just spent an extra mana the following turn, so it didn't really matter. I think the real critical play was not Unholy Heating the Dark Confidant, which was what I was expecting. Maybe they were hoping that Bob would kill us, but like we revealed Lurrus, so it's like our curve is gonna be really low. We're like even if you don't know our information about our deck, right? So this hand just does not have an answer to Monkey, but I don't think we can mulligan this. Kind of just have to bobble trick if they do have a Monkey. Wow. So they are not on Urza Saga themselves then. Since we have the Urobor, we can play Temple Garden, I think. Oh, it's not symmetrical. Interesting. That sucks. I didn't realize it was asymmetrical. That really sucks. Okay. Okay. Well, that really makes our Bob awkward too. Hopefully they don't have an answer to this Voidwalker. Going Moon into Ren 6 kind of sucks, but... Ren 6 is kind of brutal. Okay. I mean, we're very obviously representing Kaya's Guile, but nothing to say exactly. Don't mind me, opponent. Don't mind me. Do I cut off this engine now? I think making one the 1/1's a little more valuable, right? I think making the 1/1's a little more valuable. How's it going, Smurvito? Not the real King of Abzan. That hurts, buddy. That hurts. Yeah, TIL. TIL. Crimson Phoenix 7. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kolgon's command. Well, we're not gonna let them have another Goyf. Razzie1, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. I think we're gonna need to save this Triome to cycle if need be. Because we need to answer that Ren. So like we could draw a portable hole. Or prismatic ending if we draw into another land. So I think we need to save this Triome. If they put Lurrus in hand, okay. How's it going, Sad? Okay, so we have Catacombs and Bloodstainmire in hand. So if we can attack this Ren down, that'd be huge. So then they're not close to ultimating. So we'll see. Okay, so they're far off ultimating. That's good. I think we just put Lurrus in hand. I think I play this Triumph out, so that we can go Lurrus plus Voidwalker the following turn. Yeah, it seems like it, especially because like they just Lurrus, or they just have like a bunch of unholy heats and they can't enter this Tarmogoyf, or like a bunch of like backup copies of Ren. They're not even playing out the Lurrus. Wow. So we'll attack this Ren. If we attack this Ren down, that's huge. Wow. I'm debating if I should Lurrus plus Voidwalker. I think I should. Because I'm assuming they're saving removal spell for the Lurrus, but then this Voidwalker just presents a lot of pressure. I like them having a bunch of cards in just means I have a bunch of dead weight, so maybe they just have backup Ren and Sixes, and I don't want to just like if we go Bob plus Lurrus plus Bobble, I don't think that play is as good as Lurrus plus Voidwalker. I think Lurrus plus Voidwalker provides a lot more pressure. I hate exposing our Lurrus like that, but I think it's okay. Because this, like, I think we were in a spot where we want to end the game as soon as possible. We just passed the turn too, so they don't have an holy heat, which is kind of huge. So they could Ren and 6, bring it back, or Lurrus bring back Ren and 6, but then that's fine. It's fine. You take my Lurrus, I could take your Lurrus. Oh, this is sick. This is sick, I tell you. Oh, baby, let's go. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. I will take your Ren and 6 next turn, opponent. Do you have another backup Ren and 6? Oh, you want to take my Lurrus, huh? You mean it's our Lurrus? It's our Lurrus here. Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, God. We'll take a bobble, I guess, just in case they Oh, sorry, we get the spell one in case they have Crooksir or something. Cool. I'm assuming our opponent flooded there, unfortunately. I get to finally play good cards like Ren and 6. Sure, Sandy. Sir. I even had Pending for Moon. Yeah, that was kind of a line that I was thinking of constant because we had the Saga in our hand the whole game. So like matchup so far was Jund and Red White Stoneblade. Good games, Six Sigma. Good games. I could tell that last game you probably were flooded or a bunch of, like back of Ren and Six or something. Like just like I could tell when we like we passed the turn with like Lurrus in our hand. Like I could tell you just must have had a bunch of dead draws, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, that was the read that we had. It was like you must have just had just nothing, which is unfortunate. Sentinels must pop. Good combo. I could register Deco Siege right out of like good cards. Sure. Alright, we're just gonna get Bob down here. Oh, do we want to play around Blood Moon now? So we could go Voidwalker here. Get basic Swamp. Or we could go Bob and then go like Thoughtseize Voidwalker next turn. But like it requires us to have a bunch of black mana. So like what we fetch for here is really, really critical. I think we have to get black either way, so I guess we just get basic Swamp no matter what. So I think... But if we're going to do that anyway... We could also like sequence it differently. So I think if we want to do that, I think we go Overgrown Tomb here. And then next turn we go Basic Plains. And then we could play Portable Hall off Blood Moon if need be. So I think we have to go Overgrown Tomb off the Verdant Catacombs. That's fair too. I think that's also a fair line. It's just a matter. I think what I'm thinking was really just the sequencing. Is this Rhinos? If this is Rhinos, then going Voidwalker first definitely helps. Because that means we don't just get blown up by fire. Wow. They could have totally fucked us with Fury, but they didn't. I think we have to take this Fury, unfortunately. We could take the Shardless Agent, but then they just have Fury and they just fuck us. I like taking Fury just so we can play the Bobs, and then like, if they Bone Crusher, they Bone Crusher, but then they don't Shardless next turn anyway. I don't think this is a 2-for-2 though, because that means we can't play Bob into this board. I think I take Fury. And then what we could honestly do is we could honestly just play the Fury. So let's attack. And then we just let Bob take over. Like Fury just gets around just our board so well. Overgrown Tomb, Gut Swamp. Sorry, I was playing around Blood Moon too. I should have been a little bit more elaborate with that. Sure. I really wish we drew. They played Island. Boyd Walker also played Rhinos, yeah. So that's fine. So we can portable holo Rhino here. So let's get basic planes. And we just have Shadow Spear just eventually on the game, right? So we know 3 out of the 4 cards in hand. So I think we portable hole. And then we'll just fetch now. We're going to fetch anyway, so like I don't want them to have some weird like spell that can like they can cast in response to me activating Saga. But Bob is just going to look really good here. Forced. This is a weird attack. That just makes our Kaya's Gal really good too. I mean, sure. I don't mind. I don't think I mind trading a construct with the Charless, I think. So we know the whole hand now. Do this. I guess we just get Springleaf Drum because I feel like we're just not gonna. We could crack the bauble in theory. I think we get Drum. Because then we could also play the Shadow Spear too. I've been so busy with work, Sandy, I kind of just stopped working on it. And then what sucks is the band announcement came out, right? Il Castro, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. And then I kind of just like couldn't work on it anymore because I was like, well, it's kind of outdated if there's something coming out. And then now like I didn't realize how close the Kamigawa spoilers were, you too. So I'm like, crap. So I might have to work on it a little bit more. Six Sigma, thank you for the follow. Like I think I'm like internally debating if I need to like wait or if I should just like finish it up and release it beforehand. God damn it, how many rhinos do you have? Yeah, I think I just need to publish it. So they cast 3 rhinos this game, which is kind of absurd. Sure. So they can't. So we'll probably have to equip the Tarmogoyf. That's a good draw. I kind of want to play around like a bounce spell, right? So we could go to 15, equip Shadow Spear to the construct, and then do we die? 15. We push 1. Block 1, 4, 8, 12. I'm trying to figure out if it's okay to attack. So we go to 15. But we have to go back to 12 because we have to fetch shock if you want a Kai's Gale plus push. Four, 8, 12. 16. I think it's safe to attack with Tarmogoyf here. We don't have another basic. But I think we kind of have to attack here because otherwise, like, we kind of get blown out by a bounce spell. And this, like, forces less draws to 1, right? Yeah, that's fine. A flash death touch, yeah. So if we push 1. They bounce by construct and we push 1, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14. We're not dead. I think it's safer to hold up Kaya's Guile, right? I think we have to equip. And just hope they don't have a bounce spell. And if they do, we're not technically dead. Can you explain one would play Abzan over Rock? Just because this is just my favorite color combination. I've been playing Abzan since like 2016 or whatever. So like it's just like my pet deck. Oh, they have the bounce spell. Oh my god, they just have it all, huh? So the last card is Breeding Pool. So push 1, 4, 8, 12. We're technically not dead. Oh my god. So annoying. The hand was so trash too. Did I miss the breeding pool? Oh my gosh. So we have the 4, 8, 12, 13, 14. I think we have to block the agent and then push it right now. Esper Sentinel is kind of a cool card to have against like all the like red murky decks and stuff. But it's definitely not as powerful as the other color combinations, of course. They just had it all this game. They first they had 3 Rhinos this game, which is absolutely absurd. How do we survive? Make them sack. If we push 1, I don't think Kai's Gao does anything here. They sack this. We push 1. Yeah. Maybe we like that Goyf attack was a little too aggressive. Maybe that Goyf attack was too aggressive. don't hate Tarak here. I think we board out Sentinels. I know it's stop. It's like they have ice and stuff, but like it gets got by Fury, and so it's just kind of awkward. Oh, congrats, Stepjed. The equip was loose, yeah. Yeah, I think I was like, Bobby another turn, but I don't think I can answer 2 Rhinos anyway with 1 draw. I guess I have Damn, so maybe that is an out. Maybe I should just play the other turn out. But then they had but then they just go end step borrow and we're dead anyway. I think we take out the Sentinels. Is this Liberator loose against Blood Moon? I think it is. It's only for Blood Moon. Yeah, maybe there's an argument for like playing it out. Not wrong. Not wrong. This hand, I don't think we can play around Blood Moon here. If they have Blood Moon, they have Blood Moon. Yeah, maybe conceding there was a little loose. Alright, Sandy, I'm gonna make the screen bigger now. Or maybe it's my good luck charm. Maybe I'll keep this name revealed until I lose. God damn it. Alright, we're gonna be on the Temur guard for bus play. Gotta try them here. This gets got by Bone Crusher Giant, but we can't. I don't think we can just like not play this out. Don't Blood Moon me, please. Don't Blood Moon me, please. It looks like a Blood Moon. Oh. Shardless. It's really that mid range still. Don't say that. Guess I have to just get Swamp here because we want the triple black for Tarak, and then we can just play out the Shadow Spear. Yep. Not the cleanest inch of the Rhinos, but it works. Oh my god. We need explosives or something. I mean, we're gonna Tarak. I think we have to. What up, Big Ben? You hate Rhinos so much. Me too. Me too. We gotta hope we hit a creature. Okay. So we can trade Tarak with Rhino. And then we probably have the Prismatic one, ending one, Shadow Spear, equip, Tarmogoyf attack. Whenever they attack here. Trade. We are in a racing situation. Like this. All right, what do you got? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, sure. Something. There is a Jesus. Okay, Eon 0. Attack. See if they block. If not, whatever. Put Lurrus in hand. So we'll attack just to see if they double block. Obviously, we have to crack the explosives, but like we'll see. Actually, we should pop now so we can gain the 5 life. We should pop now so we can gain the 5 life. Yeah. We should pop now to gain the 5 life. But we also get the point off the explosives too. So there's a reason to pop it now to get the extra point of life. That was a top deck, huh? That explosives was a top deck. Oh, that's fair. The treble, that's fair. But I think there's an argument for growing the point by 1 more. Because like now we're at 5 instead of 4. So I think that's relevant there. Saga. Ice. No ice. Rule number 1, get lucky. That's fair. Okay. I think we go Lurrus, bring back Tarak. I think go Lurrus, bring back Tarak. I wish we had another land, obviously, but... No, I want the blocker. I think I want the blocker. And then, like, if they attack, we just chump with the Tarak, and then we could kick it next turn. I want a chump blocker so we can safely block. Because they don't have red mana either, like double red mana either. So I think going like this is fine. Like they can't like double fire us. That's a good one. Okay. 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 Oh, we can't push this necessarily. We do have a construct though. So cool. Delphi can't go under 3 ammo. Yeah, I agree. Which is why I blocked. And why I brought Turek back. Alright, game 3. I don't think we want to change anything. Again, we just gotta get lucky that they don't have Blood Moon on us. Is it worth it to bring Liberator in just for Blood Moon? I don't think so. Maybe a cutting the bob. Like I could see something like this. This actually isn't bad. Let's just try that. I don't think we want to be completely naked against Blood Moon, especially in the draw too. Especially on the draw too. We're also really behind on clock, but I think 10 minutes is enough. Cool, we have Liberator. I think I lean on Overgrown Tomb. Saga. Okay. Island. So they could fire my Liberator. I'm okay with that. Oh, they're just gonna ice. Okay. I think we're gonna play Saga. The hand isn't also not doing anything either from what we know. Vitals is a card we did not know about. Shit. If they draw Blood Moon, then it's just game over. Oh. Interesting. That's a good draw. I think we're gonna get Plains, just in case we draw. We actually have green mana. They're not gonna end step Prismari Command. Interesting. Okay, so we can insulate ourselves through Blood Moon now. We can get Springleaf Drum with this. Kind of don't want to play my Liberator out, though. So they could technically answer my constructs. Okay. So they could cast Fury now. Next turn if they... Yeah, they can get a red land and then Cavern's Fury. So we need to answer the Fury. We have Kaya's Guile, Dam. So 2 Dams, 2 Kaya's Guiles. Fortunately, our hand doesn't line up against like literal Fury. Oh. That makes sense. Okay, so the hand is Fury, Gemstone Caverns, Unknown. Bauble. Play the Bauble. Play the Urborg. I guess we could Bauble them and then push the Bone Crusher now. Yep. So their hand is going to be Fury, Gemstone Caverns, Breeding Pool, Unknown. Okay, so now Prismatic Ending isn't out to Blood Moon. Okay. Shadow Spear. Play Saga. Equip Shadow Spear to the Construct. We'll play the E on 0, so then this gets out of Fury range. So if they do Fury... Oh, Jesus. Oh, they have Rhinos. Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, so their last cards are Fury plus Gemstone Caverns, which is brutal. Because they can Fury this Construct. Okay. Okay. Well, you do have out to this Fury, like I said. That's not one of them, though. I think we can race the Fury. So we'll just play this Liberator out. Since we can Prismatic and Oblivion if need be. They are kind of flooding. Okay. They did not attack. It's kind of huge for us. Kind of huge for us. So we technically don't need to Blood Moon now. So I think we do this. I think I'm okay with trading my Construct for a Fury. So let's bubble them. Land. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. yes. My record is outdated, but there you go, baby. Oh my goodness. Lucky Charm, yeah. That's the you're Santa, we're channeling your energy here. See, if I had like tucked your name away, I definitely think we would have lost that catch. Having Santa just come up was the reason why we drew that explosives on that turn game too. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna refill my water real quick. Hopefully my bot updates until then, but I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, Big Ben. I don't think I've seen you live in a while. I don't know if Big Ben is still in the chat or not. Looks like he is. Maybe just lurking for now. Okay. There you go, baby. That was a great game. Nice. I'm assuming you're just busy with life and stuff, or what's up with you, Ben? I feel like a lot of streamers have like kind of stopped. Like I know Spider Space stopped. Like a lot of the streamers I like watching, like Spider Space, um, Control Freak. Ben, you stopped. I know Manisum was gonna stop soon, or I think he already did stop because of his new job now. Um, I guess I have to go look back at my Twitch. But I just feel like the core set of streamers that I used to watch, like, kind of haven't been live. Not to say there aren't other good streamers to like watch now too. I just feel like kind of like the obviously like there's, if you want to like put them into tiers, like obviously you have like Spike and Doom and like um Misplaced Ginger, like the people that like, I'm kind of like I'm focusing on like the smaller streamers that have like 50 or less viewers that I really like tuning into. Like for example, like Sandy's like, yeah, I haven't think you streamed in a while either. So it's like, and like Francisco is kind of I would include him in like the top tier, just in terms of like viewers and stuff. Like he obviously he has a child now, so like he hasn't streamed either. I feel like there's like been a kind of a big void. I feel like mental issue for a bit, so it was the first thing to go. But no, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's, we always have to take care of yourself first, for sure. But I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. That's all that matters. How happened to Mike? He said that he's been really busy with his work, and then he also hasn't been a fan of modern post MH2, from what he's told me, which is unfortunate. Oh, it's your internet? That makes sense. I mean, it's like more like it's like everyone has like a different reason, and it's all valid, right? But like I feel like just from like just a fan point of view, like just for me, like just kind of observing, because I like having streams in the background and stuff. I just feel like maybe it's just me not exploring more, but I feel like the streamers that I used to have on the background, I like during the pandemic, I feel like there's a bunch of people that I could have chosen from, and I feel like now it's kind of not barren. Like the talent is still there. It's just not as um, apparent as I'd hope it would be. So most of the streamers you watch said I could take breaks like real jobs. Yeah, which is fair, right? Like you kind of need to support yourself. Like I'm streaming on the side. Like this isn't even like a thing. Like I feel like me streaming like 2 or 3 times a week is more like a hobby than a real thing. I don't think you can really support yourself making this a real thing unless you're like really, really top tier, which is really difficult, obviously. I'm gonna play around a discard spell. I also want to bubble trick myself, get the most information, so we can see what we like on top of the deck and then shuffle it away if we don't like it. But like right now it's in the blind, like we don't have to bubble now. I want to get as much information as possible. Okay, so we're against like a mid-range deck with Inquisition, so probably take the Bob or the Pending, but like now we know that we can, now we have more information, which is why I took this way. Okay. So now we bubble trick ourselves. Don't want that, so we'll shuffle it away. We real on Mars flats. I don't know if you caught that. Hopefully we draw into something. So you take the Bob, huh? You take the Bob, huh? Taketh the Bob, you get another Bob. Yeah. Oh, is this fucking Pox? Okay. Fuck basic forest, man. We can't Inquisition, Sentinel, and Prismatic ending this. I think we're definitely Inquisitioning. I think we take the Smallpox. We could take the Inquisition. And then Prismatic in the rack. Because I feel like if we take the Smallpox, whatever we play, they just Inquisition it. So I think I just take the Inquisition and then Prismatic getting the rack. It's just more mana efficient that way, right? Saga's very good. It's like to put it like really in an abbreviated way, it's literally Stoneforge Mystic and Lingering Souls in one. But obviously like way better than both because it makes multiple bodies. It makes Batter Skulls with Shadow Spear, and like it just doesn't, it gets around counter spells. It's just really stupid. They're not even attacking with Mistress. Oh, they are. Okay. I think I keep the bauble in hand. Yeah, I keep the bauble in hand. So either way, oh, they can't cast either. Okay. The Saga is scary though, because they just make a bunch of constructs, but the artifacts aren't that. The constructs aren't going to be as big though, so it's not too bad. I guess we Inquisition them. I guess I should have Inquisition first. That was a punt. Well, because if they have like this, like some sort of reactive spell, so that was a big mistake. Oh, they just F6'd. Okay. Well, the backup Richmond doesn't really do anything, so we'll just do this. Can't attack at the Mistress Factory. So we do have to watch out because if they do get the rack, that is actually a pretty big win con with Saga. Okay. I'm assuming they're just going to make constructs here. I'm assuming that's what the play is here. Oh, cool. I'm glad I made my bot updated. Okay, so they're just going to make a construct. So we'll instep bobble them. Another Saga is actually pretty bad for us. Like, the way they win this game is just making multiple constructs and then fetching multiple Sagas. So I guess we just get Bob back, and then we Kazgail. When they make a construct here. Oh, but then they can just activate Mishra's factory, so we can't exactly attack. So we'll just pass. Yeah, the name is pretty good. I guess we Kai's got them now. I guess that's sack gain 4. Yeah. It is. I just didn't want to attack with the Sentinel either. But then, like, they could also just, like, opt to not make a... I guess so. I guess I could attack with the Lurrus. It's essentially just a Stone Rain. But, like, it's not really a good Stone Rain, though, because we want to make them sack the Saga. So the clear is actually a good draw. So we know they're going to draw Saga. And we were able to draw multiple cards a turn. We just need to convert it. That's so brutal. I mean, we still get to draw multiple cards, but off the bob, luckily, but... Now we're taking that. Yep. Luckily, we still have this bob. There is a world where we could have bobbed, blocked them, and then traded the construct, but I don't think that's worth it. Where are our Urza Sagas? God damn, now we're going to take 6, potentially. We could block a Sentinel. I guess this is a free attack. Because we're not going to block with it afterwards. So this is a free attack. Because we can just trade here and then we can bring Bob back. Because I don't think we're going to block with it anyway. That second Saga is just so brutal. We need like a Tarmogoyf. Just to, like, some way to like just stone one of these constructs too. Okay. Chump is definitely free. No, thanks for you tuning in, Big Ben. Appreciate you tuning in. All right, Bobby, doing me good here. That counts. Oh, thanks for the biddies, man. Really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Do we want to take the rack with the portable hole now? Like, how critical is it for us to draw cards off this Lurrus right now? Or gain life off the Lurrus? Oh, nice. Good luck, Big Ben. So we could save the portable hole for the rack that they're going to fetch up with the Saga, or we can just portable hole the construct right now. I think I like portable hole in the construct and then just playing Goyf. Because I don't want, because they could wrench mind us, but then we could just Lurrus it back. So like we could just like play Goyf. We're gonna play Goyf first. Like it is like we're gonna play the Goyf for sure. It's just a matter if we want to portable hold out. The other thing is like they could also get another yard hate spell, wrench minus, and then clear it. So I think it's just safer just to portable hold, I guess. And I think we're gonna leave Sentinel back to block. Because if they do get the rack, we do want to just have our life, pad our life total a little bit. Yeah, I did 76. That's fair. Fine, Zanny. Fine. You're lucky this is a good luck charm here. Otherwise, I'd be totally shitting on you right now. Okay, they're not making another construct. Double rack is scary. Well, that was kind of funny because they can just let us draw and then they wrench mind us. Thanks, Sentinel. Thanks for being an artifact. Thanks for being an artifact. So we take 4 off the rack here. It's active player, non-active player, so unfortunately we take the damage and then revoke the card off Bob. I don't want to entwine this Kaya's guy here. Because I don't want to exile their graveyard. So we can make them sack gain 4. There's no creature in the graveyard yet for our opponent's graveyard. So I think we just send with the Tarmogoyf. Just not play anything here. You could also just like not do anything. They could just like wrench mind. And we just discard Thoughtseize plus flats. Yeah, I think so too, Sadie. Like the only card we kind of lose to is like Fatal Push, but we do kind of go wide. So I think we can really hold this Kaya's Guile as long as possible. We survived the second Urza Saga, which is kind of clutch. Maybe. So I think we can sack gain 4. Or we could also just make a 1-1 and we just go wide. If I play another rack, it's how we lose the game, actually. So let's just gain 4. Sack gain 4. I also think we could just chump off the blob. Chump block with the bob. So that way we are kind of ultra safe. I don't think we need to draw more cards. Block here. I don't think so. I think we're kind of safe. I don't think I want to block with the Lurrus. Because we could just rebuy anything we get back. And we kind of want to... We can attack back on the crackback. I think 13's safe. Ultra safe. Okay. Explosive seems good. Needle seems okay against like Liliana's and Mishra's Factory. Lantern seems okay against Raven's Crime if they're on it. Tarak. Soul seems good. Yeah, maybe blocking with Seto because like the Bob is an extra power too. I think just blocking with Bob is just so safe because if they go like if the last 2 or 3 cards are like double rack and we automatically take 12, we could die to our Bob. So I think it's just like ultra safe just to throw our Bob away. I think we can burn out the dam. I think the Sentinels are really good because of Wrench Mine, which is really funny. I don't think I like Kaya's Guile here. I think there's like a middle ground line, which is the line I took. Like I think blocking with Lurrus is like the ultra safe way, which I guess maybe that's correct since we're so ahead. But then if I had to pick between sacrificing Bomb and sacrificing Lurrus and gaining life immediately once we're at 13, I think it's just better to just throw the Bob away. Right? I don't know. I think maybe it's close. Maybe it's closer than I think it is. I think we can just cut the Voidwalkers and cut the Guiles, I think. I think this is fine. Maybe we want this for Raiden's Crime, like I said, but I think we already have 1 spell bound, so I think that's fine. Yeah. I think maybe we're splitting hairs. Maybe they just are on 0 otters. I guess I'd really have to think about it. I haven't thought about playing against the rack. Like, I remember the last time I played against the rack. Like maybe they're both, and like in this situation they're on a 0 otter. I mean maybe they go like rack push Goif. I don't know. Because they already attacked too, right? I don't know. I think we keep this hand. And then we just play the Eon one, I think. So they take my E. Yeah. I see arguments for both. I feel like if there was somehow a way they um come back in that situation somehow, I would rather keep a Lurrus on the board, right? Like we just having a Lurrus, like I think blocking with Lurrus is ultra safe for that turn, but I think keeping Lurrus in play is ultra safe for the rest of the game, if that makes sense. So I think maybe like you're thinking very short term, and I'm thinking like a little bit more long term, and both lines may be correct. I'm not sure. I think I laid on Tomb. Maybe the E is wrong because they could have Saga, but the fact that they went rack pass is interesting. Maybe I wasn't supposed to play that. Maybe I was supposed to hold it until we get more value out of it, and we just play Spell Bomb. Maybe that was a correct play. Does it agree to play Lurrus now? Or put Lurrus in hand, I mean? I think it's as safe as it could ever be. The Inquisition, the Inquisition. Yeah, like Red and 6 is just like draw a card, draw a card, draw a card. And it's like Inquisition and Thoughtseize are just dead. Huh. I think we wait on this Lurrus. I want to go Lurrus, bring back Liberator. The real question is, do you want to play the Spell Bomb? I think the answer is no. I think we can play it slow. And if they like Wrench Mind us, we can just discard the Spell Bomb. I think so too. I think we'll discard the push. Because if they have Wrench Mind, I want to discard the Spell Bomb. Maybe that's wrong, but I don't know. I feel like that's safe. Get more some natural lighting in here. It's getting a little dark. So I don't think we need a fetch. That Urborg is really helping us here. Really helping us here. It's utter darkness. What time is it over there, Sandy? It's like 8 hours, right? 9 hours? It's like midnight-ish? Bontu's Last Reckoning. We're not going to play this land out. We are going to cast that discard spell, though. Shrieking Affliction that you're sandbagging because of this EE on 1. Yeah, it's past midnight. Okay, we technically don't need to crack this EE now. We can make a construct. And then with this Saga trigger on the stack, we can make a construct, pop this, and then tutor for a, I don't know, doesn't matter. Like, do we just name Liliana of the Veil? Or Shadow Spear? I guess I get Shadow Spear, right? Because, like, I don't know how they beat a Shadow Spear. And then we just fucking flood the board with artifacts here. And we just make a 5-fight attack. Okay. Cool. Okay. Wow. Well, I'm glad I didn't use this prismatic ending. Equip here. Sure, I'll take 2 if I gain 6 back. 21. Fatal Push doesn't do it still. They push this, they still take 4. And like we just played the Sentinel out, so it's time to top deck, huh? Let's go. Alrighty. Prediction time. This Abzan player at 4-0. How come I can't? Oh. Alright, let's start a prediction, shall we? We'll make the submission period 2 minutes. Alright, 2 minutes, 30 channel points in there. Hopefully that is like the stream title or the prediction title. I'll be right back. Bet them all easy call. I don't know if that's an easy call though. 4 believers, 2 non-believers. Wow, that's kind of a opposite ratio than I was expecting. If I was in the chat, I would have been a non-believer personally. Oh, bet you would definitely pick the false Abzan king. Oh my god. So funny. So funny. We'll see, big man. We'll see. This is the true source of our power here. The true source of our power. I just got this deck still feels good. This deck is just a ton of fun, and I feel like I'm just like jamming it nonstop. But like, it's just I haven't had a deck that I have this high much like percentage of win rate. Like usually like I can average like a 3-2 per league. Like back to my usual Abzan list once I like kind of tune into the meta. But like this list I'm like consistently 4-winning with, like consistently. And like obviously you have some leagues where you like O2 drop and stuff, but like for the most part I'm like 4-winning most of my leagues. Like if you looked at like the mode of all my like leagues, it's like 4-1 is like by far more than like the 3-2s. They have only O2 drop with the stuck like twice, maybe. Trophy obviously 3 times with it. But like I've definitely 4-1 more than 3-2 with it, like by a mile. Filthy Casual, ooh, added you when aspiring, so I mentioned you play Asa. Nice to catch you live. Nice, thanks for tuning in, buddy. You're tuning in at a good time. We're 4-0, trying to play for a trophy here. Just 1-4. I'm sorry. You should just try. You should just play Abzan Saga, big man. Let Abzan have their moment. Exactly. Thank you, all Rodeo San. Thanks. See, even our first matchmaking opponent, they knew they could get paired against us, and they knew they were gonna lose. I'll give this one to the believers, right? We should just pay it out now. That counts as a win, right? They just like didn't show up right here. You know, that counts, right? Larry Legend 19. We're on the draw, which sucks. Our opponent has a kind of a weird avatar, though. It's like an elk, like chameleon looking thingy. No white mana. I think we keep this hand. I think we can Inquisition. And then, like, again, like, white mana is, like, a primary color, so we have a lot more white sources, obviously. So we'll bubble them. Fletcher doesn't really help us. So I guess we just take the Chalice. They have a lot of answers to our Sentinels and stuff, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I think we just take the Chalice. I think that's kind of an easy take. How's it going, Isotope? There's no white mana. It's a matter of if you want to play it or not. I think I like going Saga Goyf here. They spreading seas, that really sucks. But if they have spreading seas, they have spreading seas. So Mystic Gate, Flooded Strand. Bad Korean boy. Thank you for the follow. I don't know if you're supposed to be the bad Korean boy or if I'm supposed to be the bad Korean boy. I can't really tell. Okay. So attack here. So I'll just make a construct in a turn. Are they gonna just Archmage's Charm? Looks like it. Just fine. They're digging for that 4th land, I think. So I guess they want to try to verdict the board. Which they do have. So it makes sense why they're sandbagging the prismatic endings. But they're gonna take a huge hit off the Saga now. That's actually okay. We just make a construct, answer the Teferi anyway. Sure. I guess they could prismatic into the construct token, which is fine. Backup Sentinel's okay. So do this. I wonder if we get Springleaf Drum here. So they're gonna prismatic any of the construct for sure. Because I kind of want to just play this Sentinel out. Because we have the backup one. Because you already have the Bobble in the yard too. So we'll attack the Teferi down. See if he eats a pending. Could get Bobble. That's also a line too. That's fine. We could force them to like have a 5th land of Verdict. Well, the other option too is we could just like double Sentinel, and if they don't have a 5th land, then they just have to pay 1 to cycle. But I think I am okay with just playing Shadow Spear and pass. And then if they kind of have to Verdict here. They could also just like double Prismatic Ending. That'd be kind of bad too. I think we just pass. Because like if they Verdict, then we just have all these creatures as follow-ups. Yeah, I don't think we overextend. It's not worth like drawing a card. Okay. So now I think we go Sentinel, Sentinel, equip Shadow Spear to a Sentinel. Okay. Sure. I will take that. That is a perfectly fine Magic play. Voidwalker's an interesting one. I think I like going Sentinel equip, play 2nd Sentinel. Like this just taxes their mana so much. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. So this prismatic ending, if they want to answer the Sentinel, costs 4. Yeah, I don't know. They know the power is spinning of charm, apparently. Wow, we're this game is very far from over the bench. Like we have a pair of Esper Sentinels. Like, what's that gonna do? Misclick. Drums can be scary, for sure. Kai's Guile. Okay, well, play the Urborg, I guess. Let's attack first. Do they have Spell Pierce main? I guess we should play on Spell Pierce just in case, right? So we should play Urborg. Which attack first? They could just Solitude, but then we just Kai's Guile them. Maybe I should have played Voidwalker first, but I don't think we want a Solitude, right? Or like off of Voidwalker. This could also just be a Shark, which is also fine. Okay. They can sack, make a 1/1. So the real question is do we equip the Shadow Spear onto the Sentinel? I think so. I want the Sentinel to be as awkward as possible. It doesn't overextend to the board. Okay. They could put Kirim in hand now. Sure. Prismatic Ending. So at this point, I don't think we can hold back anymore. I think we have to go Voidwalker plus Tarmogoyf. Oh, fuck, don't verdict me again. Fuck me. Oh, man. Okay, so we could Lurrus, cast Lurrus. I think we have to do that. They could have Counterspell, but, like, I think we have to apply pressure. I think we have to, though. I think we have to go double threat there. I argue that we have to. If they have Counterspell, then this game is probably over. I think we have to in that spot. That clock is so slow, though. Like, that's honestly not going to do anything. Like, that's what, a 2-turn, like a 7-turn clock, that's really not going to do anything. Bounce Shadow Spear is interesting. I guess we just pending it now, but just so they don't have like an instant speed verdict. And I think we bobble trick ourselves here. Play a little bit faster now. Okay. Oh, I can't believe we're losing this match. Can't believe we're losing this match. Looks to keep the China cycle. Can't believe we're losing this match. Oh my god. This matchup does get better post board. Like pre-board, it's pretty bad anyway. So, this is a shark. You got a shark. You got a shark. Thoughtsy just in time. Technically not dead. You also can't believe it. Technically not dead. Technically not dead. We could entwine a Kai'Skal here. Not good enough. Okay. So Pithing Needle, Brutality, Tarak, Lingering Souls. I think we can board out the whole. Whole answers spreading. I guess spread doesn't really answer spreading, but it doesn't really answer Chalice either. I think we can actually board out the portable hole. Definitely board out the pushes. I think we can board out the spell bomb because of the fact that they could run snap. No, they can't run snap at cast and region because of Kihira, so we can board the spell bombs out. Maybe we could cut the dam. Kai's got is technically out to Solitudes if need be, so I think like that. The brutality is also answer Solitude as well. I never cut drum. Drum is so crucial in the deck when you need the mana. Like, I think Springleaf Drum is the card that I tutor for the most with Urza Saga, just because we want the ability to double spell, make a construct and cast like a 2-drop. So Springleaf Drum is actually really important, especially because we lose a mana source, and this deck is very mana hungry. Also helps us cast Tarak and Voidwalker, Prismatic Ending for 4. Probably not going to matter in this matchup, but like, it's in this specific matchup. I think it's worth keeping in Springleaf Drum. I don't think in any matchup I think it's just worth it. I think cutting Hole for Liberator makes sense. Just because this doesn't get chaliced, but they both want to kind of answer the same thing, which is Rip and Chalice. Alrighty. Let's not get bodied. Come on, believers. Channel your energy here. Channel the energy. Exactly, but okay. I agree with you. Solid hand. I should have fetched with Godless Shrine. That might cost me. Or fetch with Verdant Catacomb, sorry. I think we'll upkeep them. And then we can Bobble Trick ourselves again. Plains, okay. How's it going, Rounsley? Okay. I think we want to save the Bobble for our Scry Trick, a second one. Lingering Souls isn't a bad follow-up. Brutality's not bad. Mystic Gate. Fortunately, we can't bubble trick. We could just equip Sentinel. I don't hate just equipping Sentinel here. Or, sorry, just playing Lingering Souls. I don't think we want to spend the minute to, like... I think we want to... Lingering Souls. Chatting positive Abzan for your 5-0. Yeah. Hopefully. We'll see. We're down a game, unfortunately. And this is kind of a bad matchup, but... We have tools like Tarak, so... Maybe they Spreading Seas next turn. So maybe we get second Gala Shrine. I mean, they could cut us off on green, but I think this is fine. Okay, I'm glad I fetch Shocked, because if they feel the ruin this turn, then... Maybe I should have bubbled on their upkeep. Yeah, I should have bubbled on their upkeep. Because now I can't, Never mind. Never mind. So now I think we just equip Esper Sentinel with a Shadow Spear. Especially with the Jace on top. That's a doozer. Okay, that sucks. So they're gonna definitely Verdict. So we are short of black mana. But we get to draw a card. We could. But I also don't mind them drawing a card too. Why does this shark have flying? Why does this shark have flying? So I think we have to Brutality the Verdict, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we have to Brutality the Verdict. Then we just play Liberator after. Can't attack, unfortunately. They could Solitude. But I think that's okay if they Solitude. Yeah, that's fair. Plains. So not having black mana kind of is kind of shitty. I think we need to make a construct here. And we're gonna. We could Mythic Needle name Jace. I think we Mythic Needle name Jace. Neo Typhoon is also an option, but then they can also just hard cast it, which is kind of gross. But I guess they could cycle it. I kind of want them to cycle the Typhoon. I think I like naming Jace because then they can't. I guess they can't cast the Typhoon because this Trapmaker's in play. But then I guess they solid to the Trapmaker and then they can hardcast Typhoon next turn. I think I named Jace. Well, I guess they can't hardcast Typhoon because we have the Sentinel and they want to make us draw a card. I think the safe play is just to name Jace with Pithing Needle. We also don't have black mana for Torak, unfortunately. So I kind of wanted the Springleaf Drum, but I think we'll just pass. Not having the black mana is really awkward. So they make a, yeah, let's say there's Solitude. So they can hardcast Shark. Oh. So if they took that line, then I'm kind of happy with my Pithing Needle name. Maybe that's their plan, is to hardcast active Typhoon, but that's so weird. Okay. Black Source. Thank you. So they have 2 unknown. But I think it's too hard not to track here. Hopefully we don't hit the Jace that we name with Pithing Needle. That'd be awkward. Oh, god damn it. Spell Snare? Holy Jesus. That's pretty bad. Trade Construct with the Solitude token? I think I'm okay with that. Oh no, I guess they Shark for 3. I think we pass. Just say Shark Cycle Shark Typhoon here. Not looking good for the home team. Not looking good for the home team. The only thing that we have going for us is we have Lurrus in here and the companion zone still. Kahira. Okay. I want to trade. That's fine. So the heart representing a counter spell. I wonder if we trade here. I think so. Exactly. I'm expecting a sponsored check from Sani every month for having his name constantly up. Exactly. The lucky charm. I think we block here. There's no if we're just slamming Bob first, but so unfortunately when we double spell here, we're gonna flip the trap breaker. Oh. Interesting. Solitude. I think we equip an attack. And then we'll play the Bob. And then the force to Solitude. Then we can go Lurrus, bring back Bobble, or kind of start trying to draw into things. So I gotta hope that they didn't draw into a counterspell here. So I guess we go Lurrus Bobble. Don't think the Liberator's gonna do anything. I guess I should have left a Sentinel first. I don't think it matters, but that might be the nail in the coffin. They just had to draw the Mark Wages charm on top. Sorry, believers. I'll probably have one more draw step, but I think I want to concede and then just try to play another league. I don't think it's worth playing this out. They're gonna have Jace. Oh. I guess it's worth playing out. They could Jace and then we attack the Teferi down. I guess we could just Pithing Needle name Jace again. Never mind. I guess it's worth maybe playing out, but it's either that or play another league, and I think I want to play another league. So we're not going to know what other cards they have in their hand. So Torak could be an out, though. Torak could be an out. Yeah, points. Well, like when they get double Walker down, I guess we have answers, quote unquote answers to both, but oh god. Okay. That sucks. We do have an answer to the Jace. Hold, I guess. This is not all for naught. I guess. Very teeny tiny little board state here. So you're saying there's a chance, huh? Because we have to send everything up to Fairy. Brutal. Brutal. Not looking good for the home team here. Yeah, I think we're going to play this game because I don't think I'm going to play another match here. I don't think I have enough time. Unfortunately. Sorry, believers. I was hoping to play 2 leagues, but this, you tried your best. It wasn't good enough, Sandy. It was not good enough. We're bringing this back down here. Bring this back down here. Yep, it's all because you failed once. Why do I have a feeling they have Smelster in hand? I mean, they're almost out of cards. We just need them to. I mean, they have castle, so like the likelihood of them like flooding isn't high. And they didn't play a land. Good attack. I'm probably just gonna time out here. That's probably what the end result of this is gonna be. Makes me wonder if I should bring in Hushbringers just because of Solitude. I feel like that's loose. It also numbers with the Thorax too. And it's like just a 1-2, like the clock's kind of shitty. Oh, I didn't update the Stream Decker. But the only change I think is there's a Dromoka's command in the sideboard mini, and then I have a Dam instead. I think that's the only change, but I didn't update the Stream Decker. I'm sorry. I apologize. Opponent. Opponent. Why you do that? Why you do that? Well, we can't cast that. Opponent's like, oh, I have a prismatic ending on top. I gotta put the prismatic ending on top of my deck. It's like a bounce by Sentinel, and then we can't cast it anymore, which is kind of annoying. So 2 cards in hand. We draw prismatic ending. Yeah, this is drawing all our 1-drops after Chalice in play is kind of brutal. No, we're like under like 5% to win this game. The only win con we have is honestly timing out our opponent. And I don't think we can time out our opponent at this point with 6 minutes. Our only out is okay, that's an out. That is an out. Okay. That'd be an awful way to get this trophy though if our opponent times out. Okay. We really need that prismatic ending. Off the top here. So that we can answer the Chalice and then unlock a whole hand. There's a chance, huh? They're saying there's a chance. We have no tutor targets left. Oh my god. Have it all. I mean, they were able to castle for a bunch of turns, so 6-9. So now they can bounce my construct with Teferi. So not running out of targets, like naturally drawing this drum was so bad. Because we could have at least had a 3-3. Yeah. What are our outs here? The shark as a 3-3 flyer is pretty brutal. So I think this is game. You got it. So prismatic ending for 3, huh? Is that what you're telling me to do, opponent? Let's have some fun here. Let's go out in style, shall we? Good game. Sorry, believers. We can only 4-1 with this deck. Can only 4-1 with this deck. So I think the deck performed well. Obviously, we went 4-1 again. I think this main is solid. I've been really impressed with the dams. I think dam is just something that we just want 100%. The second one, I mean. The Liberator was kind of cool. I mean, I think we just drew it early when we really needed to draw it later to like answer the chalice and stuff. The Hushbringer is still kind of a debate. I was thinking about maybe bringing it against like the Solitude deck, because like having them just turn off Solitude against the blue control deck is kind of a huge game, because Solitude just being a 2-for-1 is just so brutal for us. But it's like a 1 powered attacker, which isn't great. I can maybe see it just over Kaya's Guile or something, because it's just like, this is just a dead draw. So like in the control matchup, we boarding Brutality, Souls, 2 Hushbringers, Liberator, Needle, and Tarak. So that's 8, right? So you board out the Spellbomb, the Pushes, the Dam, 2 Guiles. I can see boarding like 1 Hushbringer maybe. Oh, and then the hole. So that's 8. So maybe that's just the correct way to do it. Not have Kaya's Guile, because that's like being reactive to the Solitude. But Hushbringer is more proactive. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to sideboard. Right? So Spellbomb, hole, push, Dam, 2 Guiles. That's 8, right? So we board in Brutality, Hushbringers, Souls, Liberator, Needle, Tarak. Yeah, I think that's just a clean sweep. I think it's bad against that deck, like in the sense like it's just not an efficient like attacker, but like so is Kaya's Guile. Kaya's Guile also just makes a 1-1. But Hushbringer proactively shutting off Solitude, I think, is big game there. So maybe I just sideboarded wrong. Yeah, I probably just sideboarded wrong. But this league took 3.5 hours, so unfortunately I don't have time to do another league. But I think that was a really fun league to play. Unfortunately, again, we lost playing for the trophy, but you can never get mad playing for trophies, just because that just means that your 4-1 is not a record to be ashamed of. Like being 80% win rate on a moto is like just fantastic. So I will never complain doing that. But that'll do it for me. I really appreciate everyone tuning in out. We had a bunch of viewers today. I know a lot of viewers are just signing off because they just finished watching the match. But I really appreciate everyone tuning in. I know this isn't my usual stream time. I usually stream like 2 hours. Actually, like 2 hours from now is kind of my usual stream time, and that's actually a little bit later, just because of my schedule. I'm starting to stream like later and later because of like life obligations. But that being said, my next stream will be Sunday morning, I believe. So I hope to catch everyone then. It will not be as early enough to play the challenge, like because here it's like 4 a.m., which is ridiculous. So I'll probably stream sometime in the morning. You'll try that better next time. Said it exactly. Yeah, you need to. We need to do this again, and you need to like show up better. How much am I paying you to like? How much are you paying me to like put your name on the whole stream, and then I don't get rewarded for it? Come on, man. You two have a good night, Big Ben. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend too. Immortal Kills. I'm glad to see you're still repping Abzan. Of course, that's the brand, and it's not like I'm doing it just because of like I'm forced to get. I actually like really enjoy playing Abzan. This is like the deck I really like to play. Um, like it's not like I'm forcing it. Some people just like force brands or whatever, but that is not me. I just love the Abzan color combination. It's next trophy time. Hopefully. All right, who do we want to raid here? Someone that's not many viewers, possibly. MTG Beta Z. Swiss Sultai? Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that love Sultai and they force Sultai too. And it's like that color combination has definitely not been treated well before Uro and then now after Uro, unfortunately. Like they got Uro and Oko, and it's like, oh shit, like Sultai, and then like they apparently can't balance. Apparently they can't balance Sultai cards. Blink twice if you've been kidnapped. Sultai build with Uro was so much fun, yeah. Too bad it was like really overpowered. So we can raid this Tron player from the crypt. Or we can raid modern 4C elementals. Or someone else if there's like someone in the recommendations. So if there's someone that you prefer in the chat, say it now. Other than that, if you want to support the channel, hit that follow button. If you want to check out my past streams, you can go to my YouTube. If you want to get stream notifications and just random memes, I post them all over my Twitter. You can check out my Discord where we're going kind of crazy over spoilers. That's where my Discord really pops off during the spoiler season. That's where we can kind of discuss new cards. When we talk about that, feel free to join then. If you have any questions or if you want input on your own deck, join there. No verdict means we'll just raid the smaller streamer here. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier in Mortal Kill Zone. I think Boseiju is going to be awkward in Abzan specifically. I think it's going to be good in Tron, Amulet, and Jund. Because obviously you can tutor for it with Expedition Map, tutor for it with Teleria West, you can bounce it with the bounce land. It's free in the sense that like it's just an untapped green source. But I think from an Abzan perspective, I think the fact that you are primarily black-white based is what makes it awkward because you can't just jam a random green source unless you want it to be like your 25th land. Then it makes sense. But like green is just a splash color in this specific version of Abzan that I don't think we can really squeeze it in for free in this build. I can maybe see it in like more of a black-white base. I can see it in rock, obviously, because it's literally like free in that sense where you just cut a green source for an untapped Boseiju. You're probably running Wither Rune commands already. You have the synergy with like Reclaimers. You can sack it, bring it back with Rhythm Command, and channel and destroy something. So I definitely see some merit there. And like if you really want to be reacted to Blood Moon, like it's easy to fetch a basic force in that deck. And then you can channel it. Well, in this deck, you kind of want to, fetch a basic planes against Blood Moon decks just because our answers are all like prismatic ending for it. We don't have So it's kind of makes it awkward. It's like, are we gonna fetch white for prismatic or basic plains for prismatic ending, or basic forest for Beseiju? So it's kind of like the awkward tug and pull because we're a 3-color deck. But definitely in like Jund, Rock, Amulet, Tron, like it's a slam dunk in there. I'm looking through the lens of specifically Abzan, which of course it's just a different deck. So they stop. They're still streaming, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Hope to catch everyone on Sunday. I know this is a long stream and outside of my usual stream time, so I really appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out. Let's send MTG Beta Z some love. Again, my next stream will be Sunday mornings. Hope to catch everyone then. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Catch you guys next time. Bye.